Dr. Vikas, there's no need of introduction because you already wasted time. So, in case I can speak for 2, 3 more minutes, I think it will be better.
Yes, Aditi ma'am, please start.
Yes, sir. A very good afternoon to all distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to extend to you a very warm welcome on behalf of ABS Engineering College, Ghaziabad, who has clubbed all of us for the 2 days national seminar on using IQAC as a catalyst for meaningful quality enhancement and Indian perspective, sponsored by NAC, organized by IQAC ABS Engineering College, Ghaziabad. I feel privileged to have such a distinguished guest, Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Baldev Singh Chaudhary, with us today. I request Dr. Hemant Ahuja sir, IQAC coordinator, to welcome our guest, Dr. Baldev Singh Chaudhary.
Well, a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Sir, namaskar. On behalf of
Namaskar.
IQAC of ABS Engineering College, I welcome you to this second session of our national seminar. Sir, it's great to see you on screen. It had been more great if you would have visited physically, but because of this ongoing pandemic, this is the only solution, and I'm really glad to see you on the screen.
Thank you, sir.
As the topic that you have given, I must compliment on that. The topic teachers empowerment is one of the relevant topics of this seminar. And I know you have been speaking about these topics from so long, and you have got a vast experience in delivering such sessions. Sir, I once again welcome you and look forward to have a great session that will bring a great insight to all the participants. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Uh, Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Kansal, and complete hierarchy, the faculty of ABS Engineering College, esteemed guest, and dear participants, Jai Hind. Jai
Jai
Hind
Hind,
to,
sir.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind to all of you. And topic which is expected from me today is teacher empowerment through their continuous training and knowledge upgradation. I know it's a good topic for an army officer because we are always involved in training, and we always believe that more you sweat in training, more you sweat in training, more you save blood in the war. So training is a very important aspect of any organization to keep pace with the contemporary changes. And teacher empowerment is, it is a very, very important topic in today's scenario, because when we talk of any education institution or when we talk of any organization related to education, teaching, and training, the teacher plays a pivotal role. If I say the whole thing revolve around a teacher, it will not be an exaggeration. Uh, so when we have to talk about the teacher empowerment, we should know first what is empowerment. There are a lot of definitions of empowerment. There is generic definition and specific definition in relation to the education institutions. The generic definition says empowerment in the degree of autonomy and self-determination in people and in communities. This enables them to represent their interest in a responsible and self-determined way, acting on their own. Acting on their own. means a person's involvement in the organization is must. He should not feel sidelined. He should not feel neglected. He should not feel on the outskirt. He should be involved in the institution or in the decision making. That is the man. That is the man crux of involvement. But as far as the involvement, people, teacher empowerment in the specific in the teaching field is concerned, the teacher empowerment definition given by Bolin is, I think, it is a more appropriate definition. He says teacher empowerment is investing teachers with the right to participate in the determination of school goals and policies and to examine professional judgment about what and how to teach. The autonomy given to the teacher and decision whatever he makes in the interest of the institution or in the interest of the student should always be honored. That is what he says. Now question arises, why teacher empowerment? We in the army always believe that it is not the machine, but the man behind the machine who wins the battle. This adequately, emphasizes the importance of human resource. And in the education institution, the man human resource is our teacher. If, when we talk about Harvard, Princeton, Oxford, or any Ivy League university, these universities are not famous because of the infrastructure there, not because of the technology they use. It is because of the teachers they hire, the quality of teacher, the learned mind, the people, those who are educating, broadening the horizon of the students, those who are studying there. And because of that, these institutions are famous. Talk about Jawaharlal Nehru University or the Delhi University. Why these two universities are famous all over India? Because they have hired quality teachers. The teachers, they are very enlightened. They've got more knowledge and exposure in terms of giving some vision to the students. Next, in the army, we always believe that an army of stags led by a lion is always better than the army of lions led by a stag. Leadership plays a very important role. And in today's scenario, I must say that all teachers of their respective educational fields, physics, chemistry, biology, science, or there are a lot of fields in the science, in arts, in the liberal arts and commerce. So every field requires a leader, and leader plays a very important role in making any mission successful. Here in the institutions, here in the schools and colleges, mission of making our students a very constructive human being, a good citizen, a person with a global vision, a person with a better horizon is the teacher's role. And these kind of teachers, if their leadership video better, then they can produce a better human being, or they can ensure the better quality human beings. Next thing is the only empower teacher can empower students. If teachers are not empowered, they cannot empower the students. The ultimate aim of any education institution is to empower students, ensure quality human resources for the country, ensure the better citizens, ensure the people with the global vision, and this kind of the teachers make or mar the future of students. So we have to empower them. That is the kind of importance, and we need to empower them. Teacher is a man maker, and a teacher is a nation builder. If a teacher is not, man who's making a man is not empowered, how can he make a better man? If a teacher who's responsible to build a nation, if not empowered, then how can he make a better nation? I have come across one saying where it says a mistake of a lawyer is buried in the file. Mistake of an engineer is reflected in the terms of breaking bridges and roads. Mistake of a doctor is buried in the grave, but mistake of a teacher is reflected in the nation. So a teacher should have a knowledge. Teacher should be an honorable person. Teacher should be, trained in such a way that he takes the goal of the institution, takes the goal of the education, takes the goal of the organization ahead, with the aim of making a good citizen and visionary people in the global context today. Now, why it is important, the second aspect is the sweeping changes are taking place all over the world. Every day, because of some innovations or some research or some discoveries, thousands and thousands of new words are being added in the dictionaries of various subjects. So knowledge is, increasing by leaps and bounds. We need to keep pace with this changing knowledge scenario. Either we have to keep pace with these changes or will be swept under the carpet. So it is up to us what we need to do. The skills which were required 2-3 years back are outdated skills today. We continuously need to develop the skills of the student so that they stay relevant in the contemporary field or in the contemporary job scenario. It is also applicable, it is not applicable to students, it's applicable first to the teachers, because if teachers are not skilled, how can they skill the students? So skill enhancement of the teacher is empowerment of the teacher. Next, what we can see is the involvement of the teacher in the day-to-day running of the institution. In some of the institutions, we have seen that the teachers are not involved. The teacher organizations or the teacher unions are, working in some different directions, and the academic organization or the administration of the institution is working in not in the same direction. Both are, turning their heads to different directions, and there's a communication gap between them. Now we need to reduce that communication gap. If that communication gap is not reduced, or if this kind of barrier is not removed, the institution cannot achieve the objectives which are laid down by the institution, or it is required to be fulfilled. So this is one aspect which one has to keep in mind. The second thing in the training scenario, we always in the army ensure that the one who's trainer is always highly respected. His self-esteem is very, very important for us. If a teacher or the trainer in the army, if he is let down in front of the other Jawans whom he is teaching, he'll not be able to teach effectively, or he'll not be able to influence them in a positive way. So what we do is we always, praise them in public, and we admonish them or warn them in private. In case we see some corrections are needed, we call the instructor, whether he is a junior instructor or the senior instructor, or even a Sipahi who is a trainer. If he's at fault, he's not admonished in front of anybody in the training scenario. He'll be called to the office, and he'll be offered a seat. He'll be made relaxed, and then he'll be told, okay, these are the things which are required to be corrected, and this is the things which you are not done it in a right manner. So you need to correct yourself, or you have to do it in a different manner. So, but in the practical scenario, in the school scenario, or in some of the college or some of the private colleges, the teachers are sidelined. The teachers are not, respected the way they should be respected, or the teachers are not involved. The teachers they feel themselves aloof. They feel, themselves neglected. So this should be, completely avoided. Teachers should be honored properly. Teachers should be, respected properly, and teacher should be his, consent should always be heard, and the action should be taken on that. Then only a teacher can, work effectively. Empowering teacher and making a teacher powerful are two different aspects. Being empowered and being powerful, these are two different aspects. They are not the same. Being powerful head of the institution or academic team or the administrative team can make any teacher powerful, and he can wield power, but that power can be used in a negative way also. The people can respect him on the face, but in the heart he will not gain the respect. We in the military, we always believe in earning the respect, not in gaining the respect. We earn the respect. When we earn the respect comes from the heart. But when we try to gain the respect with the power of our, stars, or the power of the acts, army acts, which are there with us, or the stick we are building in our hand, that power is a temporary power, and with that power will not be able to win the war, because in the war scenario everywhere there'll be bombardment, and the enemy tanks will be throwing their all kind of fire on us, and their chaotic situation. In that chaotic situation, if a leader is not followed by heart by the followers, then the leader will not be able to achieve the objective. In the same way, a head of the institution or the academic team or the administration will not be able to achieve the goal of the institution till the teachers are with him or with the administration by heart. And it is necessary to win the hearts and mind of the people, mind of the teachers first. Then only you can say that the teachers are really empowered, and teachers are closely associated with the institution, and they think that that is their responsibility to take the objectives of the institution forward, and this is their own institution, and they are responsible to make this institution a famous institution, a renowned institution of the area or the country, whatever sphere they are working in. So these are the aspects which we need to keep in mind. The other thing is, innovations, creativity, and imaginations. Imaginations rule the world. We in India are, we are termed as a rational people, but the people in Japan, they are the imaginary people. Why the innovations are taking place there, and why more and more research are taking place? Because they are working on they're expanding their imaginations. They can imagine anything, and they can turn the imagination on ground, because the education system is like this. So we not need to collaborate with the international institutions or the faculty which are working on these lines, and we have to keep our institutions abreast with whatever happening, whatever the changes are happening all over the world. So this is one of the important aspect, and making teachers powerful is it is not powerful with giving some kind of power of authority in their hands, but making powerful with knowledge, with the technology, with the kind of the things which are required in the contemporary world. Knowledge is one of the best thing to become a powerful. You with the knowledge, like Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar said, शिक्षा शेरनी का दूध है, and जो इसको पिएगा वही शेर बन जाएगा. The education is a lioness milk. One who takes it becomes a lion. So if a teachers have to become a lion, actually to influence more and more students in a positive way, he himself has to have the knowledge more than advanced knowledge, which teacher with the students are expected to learn. Then only he can translate the things on ground, and he can make more visionary students in his own sphere. So these are the things which I wanted to tell you. And the other thing, well-trained or well-equipped teacher is always beneficial to the faculty, well-bucked the institutions, and partnership with the institution. We have already policy making whenever we make any new policy, or when we introduce new technology in the school or the college or the higher education institutions, we need to discuss this with the teachers first. If teachers are not comfortable with that, if teachers have some different view, then these views should always be incorporated in making that policy, or in acquiring the new gadgets or the new softwares or whatever we want to acquire for the betterment of the institutions. Then only teacher will feel that yes, we have collectively taken the decision, and now it is a responsibility to implement things, and the institution should get benefit out of this money which we have spent after a collective decision. Otherwise, the decision taken by the administration or the higher level of hierarchy, if the teachers have different views, they'll not be able to implement with their heart and soul. If one has to implement all these things with the heart and soul, then the involvement of the teacher is must. The other thing is there are a lot of software and technologies nowadays. Whatever changes in last 50 years have taken place in the field of science and technology, I don't think these kind of changes have taken place around 1000 years before that. If you take the collective improvement or collective development in the science and technology in last 50 years, I think that developments are much more than the 1000 years development taken before that. So, and whatever the happenings today, we never imagined in our mind, we never dreamt of. And the next 10 years or so, the whatever will happen, even we are not able to dream now. That is not in our imagination even. And because of the artificial intelligence, or because of the new technology, robotic science coming up, the new changes are going to take place, which is normally not in our mind. So in that scenario, the technology being used, or whatever the new things are being introduced in the institution, the teachers have to be trained first in a very proper manner. Even if required, some resource person from some foreign country can be hired, or can be called, or can be taken help of. Like in the Rafale fighters, we have sent teams, Army, Air Force teams, 2 years back there in France to train our pilots, and to know the technology, because ultimately we have to do, and we have to fight battle with that technology. So if you have to implement that technology in your institution, you have to have that kind of resourceful teachers, and you can make resourceful teachers only when they know the know-how of the technology. Yes, it is true that the technology will not be able to replace the teacher, but technology is very important. Teacher will be a teacher always, because human emotions cannot be replicated by the robots or any machine. Machine is important, technology important, but teacher is most important. That we have to keep in mind, and keeping all these things in mind, we need to ensure empowerment of the teacher in a positive manner, and the empowerment should be taken in a positive way, not in a negative way. Making teacher empowered and making teacher powerful are two different aspects. Giving some kind of judicial power, or some kind of punishment power, or some kind of power to threat student is not going to work in today's democratic era. You need to have the teachers who are accepted by the masses, the teachers who have the knowledge, teachers who can ensure better knowledge for the students, and the teachers who can get respect from the teacher, from the students, from the heart of the students. Not that demanded respect, but the respect commanded is always more valuable respect. So these are the things which I wanted to share with you all. And just this is all what I wanted to say. Thank you very much for everyone. I'm so thankful to you. I'm so thankful to Sanjay Parashar, who has, recommended my name to ABS Engineering College for this national seminar. I'm really, really honored to be amongst you all, and God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baldev. We are highly privileged to listen to you today. And thank you so much for providing us valuable aspects of teachers and empowerment, how we can ensure teachers empowerment in different domains, and how this will help in making good teachers, and also providing so that teachers can provide good knowledge to their students as well. On behalf of ABS Engineering College, I would like to thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering such an informational session. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. The line which you have, by which you have ended your speech, that commanded respect and the demanded respect, sir, that will be the great learning for us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Baduria. Thank you. So nice.
Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time with us. And if there are few participants also, if any participant want to ask any question, then he or she can directly ask, or we can end this session. Sir, there is one question, I think.
Yes, you can ask questions. There's no problem. Yeah, I'm ready.
Sir, the question is from Sumanta Kumar Kundu. In India defense, how the gaps are filled between the knowledge of Army's graduate engineer and latest technologies they receive from abroad in terms of latest machinery?
In Army, actually, though I'm not, a person who can give the answer in a proper manner, because I'm not from the technical side. I'm from the education side. But still, I'll be able to tell something about it. The Army always keep pace with the present happening, or the contemporary changes with its own training teams. Whether we have our own resources to train the human resource, or we have, we hire or acquire people from abroad. So we have own system where research and innovations and our technical colleges are there, science engineering colleges are there in the Army, and we are looking after all these things. Anything else?
I think, sir, there is no other question from the participant side. So thank you so much, sir, for joining the session, and for the thank you, Aditi ma'am. We will start the paper presentation session at 2 p.m.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So nice. And sorry for that. I could not, connect with you because of the technical problem this side. Once again, sorry
sir,
for that.
Actually, you have connected well before the time, but the technical issue, we are not having any control on technical issues.
Yeah. So, I feel it bad, to wasting time of so many people there.
Nothing can be done in this case, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Technological issues can happen at any place.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So nice. So nice.
Okay.
God bless.
Thank you, sir. And then all participants, we will resume the session at 2 p.m. In that session, the paper presentation will be there. So all the participants or authors who are having their presentation, they can join, and other participants will also join to listen that session.